Hello, welcome to the Love Your Lawn podcast. My name is Loudon Granger. Join me today as we sit down with my good friend Haley from Ticonderoga, New York, graduating this year. We talk about a bunch of different things. We have a great conversation. We hope you enjoy it. And remember, loving your life starts by loving your lawn. Check it out. So I text Kate when we come down here just to kind of talk about things and kind of strategize things. I was so surprised on your community day. We get there early at like 7 a.m. and she's running around with her kids. She's like taking her kids through the course, own personal kids. Yeah. And then she's like changing courses because you did the different age courses. Yep. She was very hands-on. She's a very busy, hard worker. For this program. And you know what's interesting is this school and let's say Peru School and Plattsburgh schools, all of their champion teachers, the people who are working with this kind of program, are math and science teachers.
Really?
Is that weird a little bit?
That is interesting. That's an interesting pattern.
It's an interesting pattern, and I ask them all because once they tell me, I ask them, what do you teach? You know, it's just like, who are you? What do you teach?
Yeah.
And they say, oh, I teach, high school math or high school biology. And it's like, why do you think these teachers who teach these subjects typically go to this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I asked them that. And you're kind of in this field yourself. You kind of like this stuff too. So
I was just going to say, I mean, I'm interested in math and science. That's what I'm going to school for. I also like building things. Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe with Kate Crammond, that might be a little bit of a reason why she's so involved, especially with the actual course and building the course. I also think for me, when you're doing math and science and thinking all the time about these super intricate math problems or science problems, it's really good to actually have a program like this where you can talk face to face with people. It's like a break from that almost. Yeah. I needed this program to almost offset the math brain in me, if that makes sense.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, that's interesting that the teachers kind of work that way too.
Yeah, and that's what some of the science teachers say. They say we're here so much with correct answers, all this stuff. Yes. It's we almost need to scratch the other itch of the humanity side.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, so that's really kind of cool to find this and the fact that you say you're doing it too, and you said you like to build things as well. So do you? What has your history been with that? When? First of all, building what? Building Legos or what do you mean building?
So, Legos definitely when I was younger.
Yeah, right.
And then when I was younger, my favorite video game was always Minecraft. I loved Minecraft. I would play Minecraft for hours a day with my brother, building the most elaborate houses and getting my friends to come and join my worlds and showing them around my houses. It always fascinated me. As I got a little bit older, I would build things outside with my dad a lot.
Cool.
I was super into gymnastics. Cool. And so we built a balance beam. We built a bar. So, the gymnastics bar things? I built one outside of my house.
That's cool.
Yeah. I did some computer stuff too, some robotic type things. I haven't been super involved with that just because of school, the actual math and science classes. We don't do a ton of hands-on stuff, and that does take up a lot of my time, but definitely when I was younger was when I really built things, I guess.
It's kind of neat. I don't know if you saw it. This is a Lego shirt.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I designed this shirt.
Really?
Yeah, so you can't see it because of my silly shirt, but I designed this shirt. It's just for a jiu-jitsu club that I have, but it's called The Club. So, and I love Legos, and so as a kid, I used to play Legos a lot too, so I kind of was inspired by that. Yeah. So it's funny that you say Legos, and I also love Minecraft. I feel like Minecraft is just the sickest transition from going Legos to starting to kind of get into almost engineering because of the redstone elements and the strategy of the survival and the kind of planning. There's a lot of life skills I think to it. And our last episode we just did was a Minecraft episode. We saw the
awesome.
Minecraft movie. Have you seen the Minecraft movie?
I haven't, but
dude, you gotta see it.
I know. I've eaten all of the McDonald's Minecraft meals.
Things. I didn't even know those were a thing. I'm gonna have to go after and get some.
Yeah.
You get little toys with it?
Yes.
Oh, that's sick.
You can get little. I got a creeper. I got
awesome.
3 skeletons.
Legendary.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
Yeah. It's funny you say that you actually built that shirt. when I was younger with my grandmother, I would sew like all of my clothes. And
Really?
I sewed this one Dorothy dress and I wore it to school every single day. Like every single day. I refused to wear anything else because I was so proud that I had actually built my own clothing.
Really?
Yeah, so I completely forgot about that, but
That's neat.
yeah.
So you did this with your grandmother? Was she into sewing?
Yes, she still is.
Still is into sewing?
Yes.
Have you made anything fashion-wise since or anything?
No, I haven't. Really, it's almost sad, and this kind of goes back to what you said about the math and science teachers being involved with this like humanities type thing. It's almost like the math and science has taken up so much of my time that I haven't really had time left over to explore like sewing clothes and making my own stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I've been so hyper focused on like the fundamentals of, the area I'm trying to go into.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I just remembered that.
Well, yeah, it's crazy what can consume you as you get older. Like, you're clearly, we'll talk about it in a little bit here, you clearly have some goals, you're kind of marching in a direction with your life, and we'll get into that, but it's tricky when like that becomes like what we're focused on so much, we might miss our opportunities with our grandmothers and our grandfathers as they move on, and then we won't have time to sew with them anymore.
Yes.
And it's like, dang, you do have to work hard and you do have to achieve your goals, but sometimes I feel like the humanities element of human nature kind of gets neglected sometimes.
I agree.
So hopefully you go sew something with her. Maybe this summer you could sew something with her or do like something. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be.
And fashion is such a bizarre thing. Like I never was into fashion. I wear clothes with paint on them. My shoes are ripped. My shirts are baggy. I have like baggy clothes. I'm not very like fashion conscious, but like I feel like fashion, especially when you're making your own thing, you have pride in your own style. It's a little element of you. Like I don't know. I just feel like that's just like another layer of expression to
It definitely is. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, that jewelry, I was obsessed with building my own bracelets when I was younger. So really finding all these different ways to express myself through building things like clothes or crazy houses on my, it is a form of self-expression.
Self-expression.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you look back through like human history as well, like civilizations as they were being made, like I'm talking like hunter-gatherers and stuff, they're doing pottery, they're making jewelry. Yeah. They're making like jewelry out of bones and rocks and stones and earrings and all this kind of stuff, fashion and like how they, so like there must be something deep in the human nature that is this kind of creative and wearable thing.
Yeah, it really, I think it is rooted in human nature. It's just being able to express, I guess, who you are, what your interests are, where your interests lie, and ways like that. I mean, if you think about way back then, what did people spend their time doing? They didn't have 9-to-5 jobs. People didn't have to worry about, paying bills, stuff like that. They had time to just live. Yeah. And that's what they chose to spend their time doing. Yeah. I think that's why it's so important for people to do it now. Like if you're not doing things like that now, you're going to go crazy.
You will probably go crazy.
You're going to. I've experienced it myself. Like you have to do things that are fun like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's kind of cool. Will you tell me, since we're kind of talking about wearables and fashion, will you tell me a little bit about your necklace right now? What's that all about?
So my grandmother actually got me this necklace.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. There's so many weird ways that my life connects. So she got me this necklace for getting into Vanderbilt. It's a V for Vanderbilt, obviously. The diamond in it is from her grandmother.
Wow.
So she got it custom made for my birthday, which was back in April. She gave it to me. It's one of the coolest presents I've ever gotten, especially like being from her. I actually wrote one of my essays to get into Vanderbilt about sewing with her when I was younger, because I applied to the School of Engineering and I visited their engineering buildings. There was a building there called the Wondery where they had this whole like fabric section where you could build clothing or you can build whatever you wanted, but there was one section that was really specializing in the making of clothing, and so that's what I focused on because I could relate it back to my childhood and my time that I spent with my grandmother making clothes. So she gave me this necklace. She had no idea that I wrote an essay about her to get into Vanderbilt. So I showed her the essay. It was this really cool moment.
Yeah.
Where everything kind of just connected because she had no idea that I had even written that essay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's interesting that she heard you got in and she got you something kind of fashion related.
Yes.
That also was kind of the seed of why you might have gotten in the first place.
Yeah.
That's bizarre how like you were how old when this happened? When you did the sewing with her? You must have been like a child, right?
4, 5,
4.
6.
So like
yeah.
You're almost what is this like 15 years ago maybe for you?
Yeah. Just about
15 years ago, like that little moment.
It's one of my first memories.
That really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. It's weird. It's really weird how it all connected. Yeah.
And then here it is echoing almost 2 decades later and now you're wearing it and who knows where that necklace will go in the next 5 decades, if it'll get passed down or something.
Especially like the diamond in it that I told you it was her grandmother's. Who knows? I wear this necklace every single day now. I don't think I've taken it off since I got it, and I don't plan to. It's a cool reminder of where I came from and, you know, just my roots as a child as I continue to go forward, you know, exploring the things that I did when I was younger.
Yeah, for sure. Explore the things you did when you were younger.
Yeah.
That's what happens. A lot of times we forget like some of the things. We were just watching home videos at my grandmother's house of me when I was a child. And some of the stuff I was into or liked to do, I almost forgot.
Yeah.
And it's like makes me, in hindsight now, want to explore those things in my adult life a little bit, just to see if there's any remaining, I don't know, like traces of that in me currently. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I saw a TikTok, I think it's TikTok trend, and it basically says, like, you know how when you're younger in preschool, what do I want to be when I grow up? I want to be a firefighter or a veterinarian or a marine biologist was a big one when we were all little. And we all have pictures of ourselves holding up a sign like, I want to be whatever, a doctor, an artist when we're in pre-K, like 5 years old. And as you grow, I think obviously priorities change. You spend your time doing you get distracted. There's a lot of distractions in life. And when you are 18 years old, senior in high school, faced with, well, what do I want to do in my life? Like after this, go back to what you wanted to do when you were a kid before all of those distractions, when you knew, or when all you knew was what made you happy and what you enjoyed. And I just think it's cool. I've seen it on my For You page on TikTok recently.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a reassuring message because I feel like, at least me, I'm not sure about you, but when I was in high school, I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do, what my next steps were. I didn't really necessarily know what I wanted to be. Like, I didn't even necessarily know I wanted to do this. I just liked playing with stuff, like cameras and stuff, like we were talking about earlier. And so that's kind of interesting that the internet is kind of picking up on this maybe lack of purpose, and it's like kind of prompting or nudging people who might be in that situation. Were you ever in a situation where you didn't know what you wanted to do after you got out of high school?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
How did you get guided through that?
It was really 10th grade. For me, it was college or the military. Those are really my 2 options. I know myself, if I took a gap year, I would probably never come back from that, and I didn't really want that for myself. So college didn't feel right. I'd visited a lot of places, and like nothing just felt right for me. I actually took the ASVAB in 10th grade, which is a test like
for the military, right?
Yeah, it's for the military. I did well on it, considered doing maybe an ROTC type thing. I wasn't really sure. I had time. I still had 2 years. So I mean, it's not like it was this past fall where I was cramming to figure it out. I had a lot of time. As I started to figure it out, like how I got myself from that point to where I am now, I think I really just took a step back. What do I like? What do I like to do? And I still don't know exactly what I want to do. I'm going into engineering because I like math, because I like science, and because I like building things. Yeah. And so those 3 things, it's like, okay, well, engineering kind of makes sense. Do I know exactly what I want? Not at all.
Right.
I have no idea. People ask me like, okay, engineer, but what are you going to do? What's your day-to-day life going to look like? I have absolutely no idea. I have no clue.
Yep.
But my favorite classes have been calculus and physics. And my favorite class right now is tech, where we're building these like garbage forts for our elementary school playground.
Garbage forts?
Yeah.
What is the purpose of this?
It's basically this, it's almost like a medieval type theme playground.
Okay.
So it's like this mini tower castle type thing that covers a garbage can.
Okay.
So that when it rains or like the wind's bad, it doesn't get knocked over and, you know, trash goes all over the playground. And
Cool.
they're pretty cool. They have doors and everything.
Cool.
I'm graving all of our names onto the wood that's going to be like, you know, right
Cool.
above the garbage can. So yeah, we're doing it in our tech class as a project right now. It's pretty cool.
Wow. So, okay, so my brain went 1,000 places. And when you're saying like, I don't know what I want to do, what's my day going to look like? I don't know. I think that's very valid because especially in the field you're going in, it's so fast moving.
Mm-hmm.
Like who knows? No one knows. Like the people who are in it now are determining where it will be
Exactly.
when you're ready, when you're a working professional, and you will leave your legacy in that field just like you're leaving it on the playground with the garbage forts. You know? And it makes me wonder, you're into physics, you said?
Yes.
And we were chatting briefly about this last time I saw you, just physics, how I actually really enjoyed physics as well, because it just felt like everything felt real. Instead of being a paper and like hypothetical, it just felt like, oh, this makes sense now a little bit. And I like it, seeing, you know, interacting with the world. And I used to love building things as well, physically as well, not just Minecraft. But are you interested in maybe like space at all or any kind of things like that?
Yes.
Because when I hear garbage forts or like a shelter of some sort, I picture, we went to, this is interesting, we went to the Kennedy Space Center down in Florida, which is like a NASA thing. I don't know if you've ever been there.
Yeah, I
It's
actually
sick.
watched a rocket launch from there when I was on a
Yes.
cruise in February of last year.
Awesome. It's
Yeah.
mind-blowing, isn't it?
It's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
very cool. And they have some of these exhibits in there where they have these space forts where like Boeing or SpaceX or there's like Blue Origin maybe as well who have like built these like space forts that can deploy on on Mars or on like the moon's surface or something. And even when we were talking about fashion, like some of the science and engineering that goes into their spacesuits now, it almost looks like something like the modern spacesuit versus the original spacesuit. It's like completely different. It looks
like a
sci-fi
computer,
movie.
like the old computers compared
Yeah.
to where we are now. Yeah, it's crazy. Everything has changed so much.
Yeah.
In terms of like, am I interested in space? 100% yes. One of my best friends from my childhood actually went to a space camp. I think it was in like Alabama or some
Interesting.
yeah. She went to a space camp. I went to an engineering camp at MIT.
Cool.
So Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And I remember we came back from our camps over the summer and just like exchanged information because I wanted to go to my camp. I also was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
astronauts
Yeah.
and rockets, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know a ton about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know a lot about it. I don't know a lot about any of it, and that's why I'm so undecided, I think.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. I know myself. I'll
100%.
figure it out as I go. But yeah, just the taking it's almost theoretical math. It's almost made up because really the only place it exists is on a whiteboard or on your homework or on the test.
Yep.
Taking that and being able to apply it in real life, which that's really physics. That's what physics is. And just make things happen with that information. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so space is definitely a way that I could do it, but there's a lot of different ways I could do it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it would be interesting, but I have to learn more about it, I think.
Yeah. I like how you're saying you're taking this like theoretical, hypothetical, whatever stuff that exists on a whiteboard, and you want to see the world change around some of the efforts you're putting into solving these problems. Is there any correlation with that kind of mindset and that kind of attitude with also the work you've been doing recently with these younger students through the Sweethearts and Heroes program? All this energy, taking this theoretical, make people feel good, treat people nice, and then turning that into real life stuff. Is there any correlation?
Yeah, there definitely is. I mean, I'm someone, what I invest my time into, I want something back from it. And not necessarily like something back for myself, but something back for my school or for
Result
my
thing.
community. Yes, a result, a product of what I've done. I don't want my energy to go to waste. Obviously, nobody
Right,
does.
no one does.
And I'm a senior, so I'm not going to be here next year. And I honestly, I want to get away. I really do. I want to move on to the next phase of my life. However, I'm working really, really hard with these younger kids to try to set them up to become the people that I wish were in our school when I was younger. Like, I saw a quote the other day. I think the person that you become is the person that would have helped your younger self. Like, the person that you never had is the person that you become, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a cool perspective to think of it that way. But yeah, with circles, I'm thinking predominantly middle school, because those are the people that are going to be coming into our building next, and that's a really tough age.
Yeah,
I go into the 7th grade health circles quite frequently, and just give them little pieces of advice that I wish somebody had told me at that age. And I feel like it has helped. I'm not the only person that does it. There's a bunch of people in my school that do it. But I feel like it has manifested throughout our building. I've noticed just more kids talking to each other, more kids being nice to that one weird kid.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Oh,
Like,
it does.
less people just picking on. There's this one girl in the 7th grade circle, and when I first went in at the beginning of the year, you know, she would say something and everybody would kind of snicker and laugh and look at her. And now I go in and that doesn't happen at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's huge.
For that girl, I'm sure it's
Yes,
huge.
it's huge for that girl. It's also huge for those kids in that circle who were laughing at her to now understand that behavior is not acceptable. It's not okay. It's not kind.
No.
And to not do that again to somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, you're preventing another issue from happening with another person.
Yeah.
Or at least I hope that's what's happening. And it
Right.
looks like that is what is happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. I'm not somebody who wants my time and energy to go to waste.
Yeah, and this is just so positive, like,
Yeah.
and you're just kind of just preventing it down the line. That's so huge, honestly. You mentioned that you've spent a lot of time in these circles, specifically middle school is kind of what your target or passion is, just trying to set them up. That is a hard age. That 12-year-old age, it's a hard age.
You couldn't pay me $1 million to go
Do it
back
again,
to that.
I know, right? And I know, right? And basically, as someone who's spent a lot of time in circles yourself, what are some tips that you'd give, like me or someone who's never facilitated a circle ever, like some kind of general Weaver tips? How do I not let my energy go to waste? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what should I do or be looking for in my circles?
What I do, and not in all, there are obviously exceptions to this. In most of the circles I've done, there's always the one kid that you can tell just has, Tom says this all the time, has the power to influence the kids around them. There's 2 people in the 7th grade that I can think of right now. One, a leader in a good way. One, a leader not necessarily in a good way. Almost in a bad way. He messes around, he doesn't listen, and all the kids kind of follow him because he's funny and,
Right,
you know.
sets the tone, and this is what we can do, get away with this.
But like Tom says, regardless of how he chooses to influence these kids, he is influencing them. And it's very, very important to be able to notice that when you're in a circle with these kids. And what I do is do the regular routine for circle, but then honestly, outside of the circle, that's when I've pulled that kid aside and just said, hey, you have a lot of power to influence the kids in your grade. Like, don't do it in a bad way. Focus on doing what you think is best for the people around you. Almost like, don't only think about yourself here.
Yeah.
These kids are following you. They're listening to you.
Yeah.
Make sure that what you're feeding them and the knowledge that you're giving them and the ways that you're leading them, like make sure you're not leading them down a bad path.
Yeah.
Because you have the ability to do so. And I remember talking to this kid and just kind of telling him that, and having somebody say that you have the power to influence other people, especially at that age, like that's a lot to grasp. However, I think once you realize what you are capable of and you're capable of influencing other people's lives, it's almost human nature to want to help these other people. You don't want to lead other people down a bad path.
Yeah.
Like
for what? For what
exactly.
sake? Just joy?
Exactly.
That's like kind of sociopathic.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I think once this kid, he's kind of started to realize that, the other people in his grade, they are following him and they're following his behaviors. And who wants to get other kids in trouble?
Yeah.
Who wants to lead other people down a bad path? And so I'm not going to say he's turned around completely. He's still it's only been a year, but there's definitely been changes in how that one specific student acts. And then the changes from that kid also changed the vibe of the entire circle.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely just a seed perhaps that you've planted in his life.
Yes.
Or he might be writing a college essay someday and say, hey, this was, you know what I mean? And this could get him into it. You never know. You really never know.
You don't know. All you can do is try.
Try.
Yeah.
With good intention and be willing to be aware of if you do something wrong, how can you change it perhaps?
Yeah. How can you make it better?
Yeah.
And that's life. And I told this kid, your teachers are going to yell at you because you do misbehave in class. Like that's normal, whatever. If you're a good person to your core, like if you try to do the right thing, and he does, oh my gosh, he 100% does. He's always saying please and thank you, just small things like that. He's a good kid, maybe with a little bit of ADHD, if you get what I'm saying. I try to remind him, people are going to like you if you just try to do the right thing. People are going to give you a second chance if you mess up, if they know, oh, well, this is a good kid, we'll give him another shot. Like, it goes a long way, just, I guess, doing the right thing. And making sure that kids who are young and impressionable know that and fully understand it. Because I didn't when I was that age, I guess.
You think you need someone telling you it to understand it? I mean, how do you come across this on your own? How do you, I feel like you need a third party to kind of inform you and say, just so you know what's happening here, you're influencing people.
Yeah, definitely. Because I'm sure, maybe the kid sees it, maybe he doesn't. Do we want to take that chance, or do we want to tell him straight up, you have the power to influence the people around you?
Yeah.
Don't lead them down a dead-end road, Yeah. So, yeah.
100%. Well, this is very, very cool. Do you have any advice you'd give to just general high school students? Just in general, just like some maybe things that kind of helped you through high school, or just anything?
Yes, a lot. I could speak for hours on all of my book of advice.
Yeah.
The number one thing I'd say, there's a quote, it's like the grass is always greener on the other side. The grass isn't greener on the other side. The grass is greener on the side where it gets watered, if that makes sense. I saw it somewhere, I don't remember where. I guess what it means to me is in high school, it's so easy to just look at other people and, oh, I'm not like this girl, I'm not like this kid. It's very hard not to compare yourself to other people. But if you are taking care of yourself, and if you are focused on becoming the best version of yourself possible, if you're focused on maximizing your full potential, it's going to leave you with a certain feeling of satisfaction where you don't need to look at other people anymore.
In the eyes of comparison?
Yeah.
It's almost like you're feeling fulfilled in your own self because you're striving to do better.
Yes.
And water yourself, however, but also kind of watering other people around you as well and kind of bringing them up. Is this kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
And did you choose this quote specifically because you're on the Love Your Lawn podcast and we talk about lawn things here? Oh,
yeah.
no.
Sure.
Right. Oh, you're a genius.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, I know that. No, but I saw it somewhere, and it's very insightful. It's a neat perspective, and
it is.
Obviously easier said than done.
100%.
But
yeah,
if you are trying, that's all that matters. You're not going to be successful. I compare myself to other people still. It's human nature to do that. If you're trying to take a step back and just say, okay, I'm me, I'm going to do whatever I am capable of doing, that's step one. And if you wake up every day and you do that, your habits habits build tendencies, I guess.
100%.
Like you're going to become a person who knows who they are, who is confident with their own abilities because you've worked to that point. Like when you know who you are, you don't need to rely on other people's opinions of you.
Yeah, because you've kind of shaken out where your place is and kind
you
of...
know your place in your life, and somebody can say something to you, but at the end of the day, you know who you are because you've worked to get to a certain point.
Yeah.
Get yourself to that point. Get yourself to the point where you know who you are as an individual.
Yeah.
People can't mess with you as much once you've reached that, I think.
Yeah.
But like I said, easier said than done.
Easier said than done, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I noticed for myself that I didn't start having these kinds of these style of thoughts until I was literally graduating college, dude. It's just something weird. I felt like I wanted to experience this type of thinking, but I felt like I was being restricted by my own brain. I just felt like I wasn't able to get to that level of thinking yet. I honestly think I ran into a biological restraint. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think I was fully formed yet.
Yeah.
And I think that's a thing that men and boys experience.
I think so too.
Biologically, because I just couldn't, I knew that I could get there I could think deeper about things, but I just couldn't yet. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just a strange thing. So even the fact that you say easier said than done, the fact that I knew I wanted to kind of get in that realm and just be patient and just chip away at it. And like you said, habits become tendencies, I think it all kind of pointed me in the right direction, but I think there's an element of patience that come along with it as well, and grace in yourself.
There definitely is. And honestly, maybe this isn't the best piece of advice, but it's a realistic piece of advice.
Sure.
In order to achieve this level of peace and confidence with yourself, it's okay to crash and burn before that. It's going to happen. I don't know a single person who hasn't.
It's a law of physics.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It really is.
Yeah.
It all connects.
It all connects.
You're going to fall on your face. You're going to lose your mind. Lose your mind sometimes. Just lose your mind completely. I've done it before. It's not good. You have to be able to come back from it, obviously.
Right, it's resiliency.
Yes, but it's okay to just completely lose your shit sometimes.
Yeah.
It's normal. And honestly, you're going to learn more from that experience, going through that and then coming back from it than you would if you were just on this straight level pathway.
Yeah.
And what you said about the biological constraint that you almost felt like you were facing, I have felt that too. Maybe not in the same exact way. One piece of advice that I would have for anybody who's kind of in that situation is to surround yourself with the people that you almost want to be like the people who have reached that level already. They're already there. You want to be there. You're not there yet. Yeah. Surround yourself with those people because they're going to help you subconsciously, without even realizing, they're going to help you almost get to that point. And I've done that, and for me, it works. I think it works. You become the people that you're around.
100%.
So.
No, that's very good too. That's a great little catalyst for kind of stimulating the direction you want to go in.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, very cool. Very resilient. I love that kind of mindset of lose your mind. And although you're a science and kind of math person, like Vincent van Gogh, very famous painter, was in a mental institution while he was painting these paintings. Starry Night, that's out of his mental institution. He cut his ear off. He lost his mind.
Yes. Honestly, I mean, for myself, I don't want to get to that point.
Right.
Of craziness. But a lot of these these minds that are just capable of such levels of intelligence and just levels of intensity that it's not normal. It's not, you don't walk around every day and see it. But those minds, yes, they're capable of these great things, but are they capable of just dealing with life too? Is it physically and biologically possible to have both? And I'm still kind of navigating that path. I want to be hungry for success and achievement not saying I'm Vincent Van Gogh. I dropped art in 8th grade. Like that's not my talent at all. But these people who have such high levels of passion for the things that they do, where it consumes their life, it takes over everything. Yep. I've experienced that before with school, as maybe as cheesy as that sounds, but I really have. When you're passionate about something, it takes over who you are, and in that process, I think it can be very, very easy to lose it. In terms of like
to lose your grip on reality.
On reality, yes, and
Yeah.
on actual life. Like it's very, very hard to navigate the in between.
Yeah.
Right there, at least for me. I do think it's possible though.
Yeah, it's like you need like both creative and survival mode.
You need the sweethearts and heroes and the math and the science. That's what it is. Yeah, and that's how I think about it. And I really, it's almost like I had that biological like constraint where like I know they connected. I didn't really know how to say it. And now that you brought up that point, I feel like I've almost found a way to get the words out. But it's that balance between, the passion for these, the math, the science things. It's academic for me now, but it's not academic for 30-year-old like adults with like 9-to-5 job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like just balancing those two things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sweethearts and heroes, and then the math and the science, I guess, like I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's incredible.
It's interesting, yeah.
That's incredible. And you're going to Vanderbilt. Good luck with that. Have a great summer. Are you on the fence about what you're doing this summer? What are you up to? Are you working? Are you kind of hanging out and sewing with grandma a little bit? What are you doing?
So, I guess my plan right now is to work.
Yeah.
I'm going to work at a landscaping business.
Wild.
Maybe put some muscle on.
There you go.
Yeah. Learn some more hands-on skills.
Some landscaping, another lawn thing, huh?
Yeah.
You are just into this.
I'm killing it with this.
You
right
are.
now.
You've got more lawn references than I do.
Yeah. So that's my plan.
So you're doing that.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Maybe I'll sew with my grandmother.
Nice. I hope you do sew with your grandmother, actually.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Awesome.
I haven't in a very long time. So.
Sew me a new shirt. Sew me a guest shirt so my guests can wear
so
a
the
shirt.
guests can wear it. That'd be cool.
And then that'd be cool.
Yeah. I leave August 14th.
Cool.
So I think I have 87 days left.
And listen, I have no idea where this is. Where is Vanderbilt?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, no way. Cool. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I was thinking somewhere near Washington or something.
Music
cool.
City. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
You like country music?
Yeah.
You do actually?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to go to Nashville sometime.
Oh my gosh. Everybody I've ever talked to who has been there has loved it.
Loved it.
It's awesome.
Oh,
and it's so interesting. Like you have Nashville and then you have the Vanderbilt campus.
Yeah.
They're completely different
worlds.
things. Like it's Vanderbilt is its own bubble.
Yeah.
Nashville there's nothing like it. I've been all over the world. There is nothing quite like Nashville, Tennessee.
Wow.
It's one of the fastest growing cities in America right now.
Oh, I'd believe it.
So there's lots of opportunities there.
I believe it. We've had some people who have lived near us, who we've known, who moved to Tennessee in general. Maybe not Nashville, but all over Tennessee, and it's affordable. It's a good place, I've heard. So, yeah, I'd love to go there someday.
You should visit. I think you'd like it.
Maybe we'll go tour Vanderbilt.
Yeah, text me. I'll come give you a tour of the campus.
Show us around. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thank you so much for sitting down with us today, and we appreciate your time. Good luck with everything next year.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.